I need to start by being clear. I'm not going to name the hospital. I still work there. What I'm telling you happened and I have documentation for parts of it. But my job is my livelihood and I have a family in Riyadh and I'm not putting that at risk. You can believe me or not. I'm telling it anyway because I think someone should. I've been an administrative coordinator at this hospital for 6 years. My job is essentially the operational logistics of two floors, staff scheduling, room allocation, equipment tracking, compliance paperwork. I know the building the way you know your own flat. Every room, every corridor, every piece of equipment and what state it's in. Room 3 to 14 is a photocopy and document storage room on the 3rd floor, east wing. It's maybe 20 square meters. 3 large photocopiers, shelving units, a small desk, a single fluorescent overhead light. There's one door. The door has an electronic lock, standard for the building, a card reader on the outside, a push-button release on the inside. Every card swipe and button press is logged with a timestamp to a central system that I have access to as part of my role. Pause for tension. In 2019, 2 of the 3 photocopiers in 3 to 14 developed an electrical fault. The room was locked, tagged for maintenance, and the maintenance request was filed. The request was never fully completed. The equipment was expensive to replace. The budget was reallocated twice, and eventually the room became one of those building dead zones that hospitals and offices everywhere have, locked, officially under maintenance, effectively forgotten. The relevant staff, the people on my floor, just stopped thinking about it. Locked door, not our problem. Equipment issues, move on. The first incident was in March. A nurse named, I'll call her Fatima, that's not her real name, was doing a night shift, routine night, nothing unusual. At approximately 2:40 a.m. the east corridor camera showed her walking past room 3 to 14. This is on her normal route between the nursing station and the east stairwell. She walked past the room. At 4:15 a.m. a colleague went looking for her when she missed a medication round. Fatima was inside room 3 to 14. She was seated in the desk chair, upright, not slumped, not distressed looking. Seated, like she'd sat down for a break. She was unresponsive, not unconscious, but in a state that the attending physician described as profound sedation. She came around fully after about 90 minutes. She had no memory of entering the room. Her last clear memory was walking the east corridor at around 2:45 a.m. Pause for tension. She was not harmed. Physically fine. Toxicology found no sedative agents in her system, which is its own problem because she was clearly in some kind of sedated state. The room was examined. No gas leak. No electrical issue beyond the known faulty equipment. The door was locked when her colleague found her, locked from the outside. Fatima's access card was in her lanyard. She had no key. The hospital administration filed it as a medical episode, a brief dissociative event possibly triggered by fatigue. Night shift nurses are under a lot of stress. It was noted, documented, closed. The second incident was in August. A porter, night shift again. Found inside 3 to 14 at 3:10 a.m. by the security guard doing corridor rounds. Same condition, seated, deeply unresponsive. Physically unharmed, no memory of entering, door locked from outside. No key on his person. Pause for tension. The administration's response to the second incident was to have the room physically inspected again for any structural issue, a gas or air quality problem that might cause sudden incapacitation. The inspection found nothing. The room was checked for any alternative entry or exit, a vent large enough to access an adjoining structural gap, anything. Nothing. One door. One lock. It was filed as a coincidence, 2 isolated medical episodes. Both staff members were cleared for duty. Neither of them had any lasting effects. I was not satisfied with this. I pulled the access logs for room 3 to 14, the door lock logs, every card swipe on the external reader, and every button press on the internal release. Both create a time-stamped entry in the system. For Fatima's incident, the log showed 0 access events between the end of the last legitimate use of the room in 2019 and the moment her colleague opened the door to find her at 4:15 a.m. 0. She left no entry event. The door simply opened when her colleague tried it. But the log did show one event. At 4:14 a.m., 1 minute before her colleague opened the door from outside, the internal release button was pressed. From inside the room, pause for tension. Someone inside the room unlocked the door from the inside. 1 minute before it was opened from outside. Which means, whoever pressed that button was already inside the room when Fatima was in there, and left 1 minute before she was found. I checked the August incident, same pattern. The porter was found by the security guard at 3:10 a.m. The internal release was logged at 3:09 a.m. Whatever was in there left 60 seconds before the door was opened. The third incident was last month, a senior doctor. I won't describe his role more specifically. He was found at 2:55 a.m. in room 3-14, in the same state. Unresponsive, seated, physically unhurt, came around after 2 hours, no memory. Internal release logged at 2:54 a.m., 1 minute before discovery. I took this to the head of facilities. I showed her the logs. All 3 incidents, the pattern. She looked at the logs for a long time. Then she said she would need to escalate it. That was 3 weeks ago. Room 3-14 has since been welded shut. Not locked. Welded. A facilities team came in on a weekend and welded the door frame. I was not given an explanation. I have not been given any documentation from the escalation. I don't know what was in that room. I don't know what it was doing to the people it brought in there. But I know it was methodical about leaving before anyone could see it. 60 seconds. Every time, like it knew exactly how long it had.